Hi, this is John Ondo from Marketing Media and Cupcakes. And before we get into today's episode, I just want to say thank you so much for listening. We're back after being gone for over 4.5 years. And I hope you get a chance to listen to episode 77, where we explain why we were gone for so long and that we're back for at least 3 more episodes. Angel and I are big supporters of entrepreneurship, and we love small businesses and faith-based businesses. And we just want to encourage you through our podcast each week. What's going to determine if we continue with more episodes will be the response. Subscribe to us on your platform. Send us an email at john@ondomedia.com. That would help us know you're listening and you want more episodes. So thank you so much, and let's get into today's episode.
This is the small business podcast that is sweeter than all the rest. Marketing, media, and cupcakes.
Hello, I'm John Ondo. I am a filmmaker. I have my own production company here in Columbus, Ohio. Along with me is my beautiful wife, Angel.
Hi there.
She is a customer service expert, and on the side, she has a side hustle of baking cupcakes for profit.
Yes, I do.
And so that's why we are Marketing Media and Cupcakes. We are a podcast for small business, big business, and anything in between. And if you're just bored and looking for a fun podcast, we are fun.
We are all about your business.
We're all about your fun business. So let's see. So today on the show, I should probably mention that. This is what I do for a living, is promote things.
You do. And I listen and say yes.
We have a good friend, Monica Guidry, on today.
Yes.
I've known Monica, I think, for 10 years now.
Wow.
And she is a hoot. She's a lot of fun, and she has stories, and she is passionate.
Yes.
And passionate about purpose. So we're going to talk about that today. For those of you who listen regularly, you're going to go, okay, you do this stuff a lot. Well, yeah, we believe it's important. You got to be passionate about what you're doing. If you're not, then you should probably go do something else, I guess. I'm very passionate about saying that you need to be passionate.
I'm very confident that Monica's going to have some stuff for us that's going to be very beneficial. I'm actually looking forward to hearing some of it, because it's a thing I struggle with. Is I have a passion for baking, and yet my full-time gig is customer service. So I'm intrigued to listen to what Monica has to say about how I got there and what I can do to maybe shift that a little bit. It's
going to be a great episode, and I think I'm about ready to go on a rant about my iPhone, because
I am fully aware that you hate the new iPhone 11.
So here's what's happened, and I'll just try to make this brief, because
I don't think it can be.
Because despite the fact that I sound at times like I'm not an Apple guy, I actually am. Every single device in this house and in my life is an Apple.
Yes.
Unfortunately, I can go back to a time, I can look in the past, and I miss Steve Jobs quite a bit, that I feel like it's not gone as well since we lost Steve.
I would agree.
So I just hit my phone by accident, and it switched to Spanish or something. I don't know how it did it. I'm looking at it, and it's like, and I tap it again, and it switched to Chinese. And I'm like, what is the deal with this phone? So what happened was, and I'm sure parents are listening, I have a daughter who went to the University of Cincinnati, and then I have another daughter who's in middle school, and then I have a son who did not have a cell phone and going into middle school. And of course, you've got that problem of everybody else has a cell phone, but I don't.
Yep.
So I had to give up my iPhone 8 Plus, which was not a problem. It had a button on it that would open up, and I went to the iPhone 11 Plus, Mac Pro, whatever it's called. It does not have a button, and it has Face ID. Face ID is going to be amazing. You don't have to put well, guess what happened? We all have to wear masks, and so the stupid Face ID doesn't work. So instead of having a push button, I have to now push the buttons and put my 6-character ID in.
Every day
I'm
there's
just
something.
Saying, and again, I take pride getting more gray and becoming the old man. And see, young kids look at me. My kids look at me. It's like, oh, dad. It's like, no, this is not this. This is not about a flip phone. This is not about how cars used to be better. This is about the phones worked easier in the past. Mm-hmm. I have more difficulty using this phone. And when I say difficulty, opening it up, entering in passwords that are constantly forgotten. That's not easier, that's harder, and so when I look at my kids, I'm like, I used to be able to get into my phone and do things faster 5 years ago. Mm-hmm. So that's my problem. It's not that I'm old. I expect things to get easier, and they're not getting easier. They're getting dumber.
I would agree.
And of course, I'll just say, because I think they need to have older guys programming these phones.
I would agree.
We already know what's wrong with them. There.
End of rant.
If you've enjoyed my rant and you agree with me, please email me at john@ondomedia.com.
But let's talk about some positive things now.
We're going to talk about more positive things on the show now that I've gotten through the rant. So stay tuned. So when we talk a lot about business, and one of the things I talk about is living the dream. Live the dream.
Yes, you do.
It's about purpose and passion.
I like that.
So a person that we know who is all about purpose and passion is our friend Monica Guidry.
Yay!
Hi, Monica. How you doing?
Well, hello. Hi, guys.
She is a mother of how many now?
I have 4.
You got 4.
Oh, holy heavens.
And
You didn't know that.
I guess for some reason I thought,
Just the one.
yes, I did for some strange reason.
Monica has a journalism background, some broadcast background, all these kind of fun things. And have you ever done anything in your life, Monica, that you were like, I'm just going to roll through this. I have no passion for what I'm doing.
Yes.
Oh, really? See, I thought you were going to say no. What was the word?
No, I actually have done something just to do it because I wanted to make some money.
Okay.
There you go.
There really was no passion behind it. And that was when I was whitening teeth.
Okay.
Oh,
I didn't
I
know.
had a teeth whitening business.
oh, how
Really?
cool is that?
Yeah.
Is it like the fun little
I have
like?
my machine.
Is it like is it one of the pyramid schemes kind of thing, or is
No,
you did it
it's literally
personally?
a legit LED light that dentist offices use.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
Oh my
and
goodness!
yeah, I apply the
Fun stuff.
the stuff on your
gel
teeth
or
and
something,
you
yeah.
lighten it.
Wow.
Wow, that's good. Yeah, I didn't know that. So
How cool!
Monica, as I've known you have been, you're kind of an entrepreneur at heart. So for the audience who doesn't know you, tell us a little bit about yourself and why passion is such a big part of what you do.
Why passion is such a big part of what I do. I think because the number one question that we always ask that people want to know is like, why am I here? Right?
Mhm.
Like, what is my purpose?
Yep.
And because I know that is a question that a lot of people have, it's like, okay, well, let me help you discover what that is. And usually passion is directly connected to purpose.
True.
And so that's the reason why that I got on this big kick about that. And then purpose is what you were born for. And so because I love people, because I love, how people feel when they're like living and doing what they're called to do in life.
Mhm.
I mean, I'm all about it. So it just speaks to me.
And how, I guess my question is, because I think there's so many people, because I still jokingly say at 50 something when they say, what do you want to do when you retire? And I'm still trying to figure out what I want to do when I grow up.
Mm-hmm.
And so how do you assess that for people?
So usually what happens is I take them through, okay, so what things do you love? What do
Okay.
you love? What do you love? What can you spend your time reading and get lost in? What can you have a conversation about and can just go on and on and on forever about? That's usually what you're passionate about.
Okay.
And that passion, like I said, is a direct connection to your purpose, what you're called to do.
Okay.
So
I like that.
your new title is Lifestyle Strategist?
I am a lifestyle strategist.
Which I love that
Ooh.
because and no offense to people who are listening who are coaches, but I'm kind of getting tired of all the coaches. You can't swing a dead cat without hitting a coach.
Well, everybody's a coach.
I know. So
Everybody's a coach.
I love the word strategist. I love strategy. I love planning things.
You do love strategy.
Yes, I do.
I
Stratego.
struggle.
You struggle with strategy.
Well, it's one of our core competencies at work, and I have to put down goals around strategy. And when I look at what I do on the daily, I'm like, there's nothing strategic about this. I've got to make sure the house isn't set on fire every day and put it out before I leave. That's it.
It's kind of like asking a fireman, "What's your strategy?
What's your strategy? Oh, I
Put
don't
the
know.
fire out."
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's just my thing. I've just always hated that word.
So tell us
it's
about
funny.
lifestyle strategy. Obviously, people are coming to you, and are they lost? Are they not happy?
Yeah.
What's going on?
Usually the people that come to me, they're stuck in a certain area of their lives, Some areas are moving and it's like a well-oiled machine, but then there's a certain area of their life where they're just stuck in that area. So what I do is I help people get unstuck.
Okay.
And work towards wholeness, because there's usually an area that's impeding their path. Either there's something they're dealing with like fear, or there's self-doubt, or there's a relationship, something that is impeding forward movement.
Okay.
And so once we figure out what that is, we get them unstuck, work towards wholeness, so they can start living a life full of passion, purpose, and joy. So that's kind of the process.
Neat.
So, if you were a car mechanic and I said, what's the biggest problem you deal with in the garage? You might say, well, I get cars with blown radiators or a blown hose. So in lifestyle strategy, you got people in the garage. What's some of the things that you see commonly that maybe people like, it seems like 90% of the time I'm dealing with people who are struggling with bad relationships or financial. What are you running into?
A lot of things that people are facing is fear.
Oh, yeah.
They have these big dreams. They have these big goals. And it's just like, they don't know where the first place to start because they're so afraid of failing that they don't even begin. So that's what we start doing. We start unpacking that. Okay, well, where does fear come from? Are you afraid of being rejected? Are you afraid of, losing something? Are you afraid that, you'll get out there and it doesn't materialize?
Sure.
There's a lot of that.
And it's funny because we've had several different podcasts where we've talked about fear, and we actually started it earlier this year in 2020 prior to knowing what 2020 was going to be like.
Oh, gosh.
And we just started talking about fear because that's what a lot of people in small business are. They're either afraid to start it or they're in it. And then it's like, what are you going to do? And,
that's right.
And then we got into COVID and everything went sideways. And then it was like, okay, we're now shut down. What do we do? How do I talk to my kids? Things like that. So fear has always been one of my biggest things. It's just because, again, I do my little stuff on the side. I do my cupcakes and whatnot.
Yes. I can't wait to have one.
You've not had one yet?
No, and I cannot wait to have one.
Well, for heaven's sake, I need to find out your favorite flavor and we will make that happen.
Yes.
But it's been one of those things where, and it was, I have it written down, but one of our prior guests and one of a dear friends of ours, Terry Dismore, said, fear is faith in a bad outcome. Something like that. And it really, and I kind of typed it in because it really is. It's literally a self-fulfilling prophecy. So how do you see, what are some of the things you do to get people past some of those fears? What is, just curious, like, because again, I'm 57 years old and I still am afraid. So I'm just curious what you're doing to get past some of those fears for people.
So first thing that we do is we recognize, is it really fear? Is it really fear, or are you just unsettled about something?
Okay.
So fear, it immobilizes you. It stops you. There's no forward progress when there's fear. When you're unsettled, you do it anyway. You'll go for it anyway.
Sure.
So the very first thing that I tell people to do when they're afraid of something is to do it anyway. Do it anyway. Face it head on. What are you afraid of? You're afraid of standing in front of people in public speaking? Gather your family around or a few friends to come over and stand in front of them and just talk.
Okay.
And just talk, like, just to get it over with. I mean, it's just it's a starting point, but it's facing something that you're afraid of. Face it head on. That's the very first thing that I tell people to do.
Okay.
So just do mock-ups of whatever it is that you're afraid of.
Okay. Is there, so like, for example, because I think if we unpacked all of my fears, and I think, again, it goes back so far, one of my biggest fears is losing everything. So it's, again, those small business folks, it's like, I'm afraid to lose what I've got. It took me this long to get here. I can't risk it.
So what we would need to do in a situation like that, because everybody's fear, like you said, is different.
Very much so.
But what we would do is go back and find out where that came in, where it entered.
Okay.
So what happened in your life that made you afraid of that? Did you grow up poor? Did you have a family that, was well off at a certain point and then lost everything? And you saw the dismantling of something because of the loss. Like, we would have to really go and dig up or unearth where it entered.
Okay.
So that we can start healing it also.
Okay. All right. That's fair.
So one of the things you talk about, and we're going to talk about your ebook that you have out, but you talk about purpose and passion, how to fuel your passion. It does seem to be this odd way that we are designed, I think, that it's like we are called to do something, and that's something we've all said, that I believe everybody has a purpose, has a design, that you have a purpose in life.
Yes.
Yet it seems like there is a barrier to get you there. Nobody, it's very rare you ever hear somebody, it's like, I decided I'd be a great surgeon, and I just did it. It was always, I had to overcome I hated cutting into people or something. You had to overcome some. Does that seem like that's a common thing that people will say, I feel like I'm supposed to be this, and there's an obstacle that they've got to overcome to get to that goal?
Yeah, it is.
Well, that kind of sucks, though,
really
doesn't it?
Is. But there's something that's there. There's a barrier that keeps people at a position where they just can't go. And it's not always fear. It's not always fear, but that's a big one.
Sure.
Are
there some other common ones that you've heard of? Are there like other common things other than fear? Because fear's definitely.
Relationships are big ones. Just people, like the self-doubt.
Okay.
I'm going to let somebody down.
Not believing in oneself.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Is a big one. And then outside noise, the background noise.
Sure. Other
people aiding into the self-doubt.
Sure.
Oh, are you sure you want to do that? Oh, are you sure that that'll make money? Are you, that kind of thing. So those are usually what people are facing.
For sure.
So I know, Monica, as you've been working on this strategist thing, and you have your own podcast, which, by the way, give us real quick, where can people find your podcast?
So I'm on all major podcast platforms. So I'm on Amazon Music now, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Google.
What's the name of your podcast?
The name is Whole Heart with Monica Guidry.
Cool.
Yeah, so it's whole and then heart with a lowercase e, so that the art is accentuated.
Yes.
That's neat.
So I know you were trying. You've always had this thing that you're finding your passion, and I know we talked several months ago and talked about podcasting and some other things you were looking into.
Yeah.
And then you started this about the same time this blasted COVID thing hit.
Yeah.
What I know I had some things we were starting at the beginning of this year, and we were talking about fear at the beginning of this year with this podcast. And sure enough, I had to do a course correction about in May and June. Tell me about fear for you starting this. You've got a passion for doing this, and then COVID hits. What was let me put you on the spot. What was the fear you were dealing with at the beginning of the year when this hit?
I did not want to do the podcast. I mean, you were talking to me for, I want to say, almost a year. Like
I called you up and I said, you need to be doing a podcast. Yeah, you need to be doing a podcast.
My husband, too, you basically confirmed what my husband had been telling me for a long time. He was always telling me, you need to do a podcast. And then you tell me, you need to do a podcast. And then God told me, you need to do a podcast. And when God told me is when I really had the breakdown, because it's like, I really have to listen to you. You know?
You don't have to listen to me.
So I'm in full-blown tears. Like, I do not want to do this. I don't want to do another thing.
So what was behind that? What was it? Just too much? You didn't know what you're getting into, or what?
I've done everything, John. Yeah. I've literally done everything. Hello, I've whitened teeth. I was certified tooth whitener. Okay?
I know.
What else could you do?
I've tried everything. That's one thing about me. I am not afraid to try.
So why with podcasting with your background in journalism, podcast or broadcasting, this is a piece of cake. You just didn't gel.
I just felt like I've done everything. I had In the Heart of It All, which was my first baby. That was, the radio show I had.
Yep.
I had a TV show for a short stint, In the Heart of It All, and it was doing well, and then it just kind of fizzled out, and I was just tired of it. Yeah. I was tired of it. And I was just like, Lord, I don't want to do this, and basically I was, kind of tapped on my hand, or I got a scolding a little bit. And it was just like, now more than ever, I need this platform. I need you to talk to people about purpose and passion and joy and inspiration and encouragement. People more now than ever need it. And so I got myself together, and I just went for it.
Excellent.
And you're getting a great response from what I'm seeing online, and it's great.
Yes. I mean, I never would have imagined the impact that it is having. And it's like in 12 countries.
Oh, wow.
Already, like people around the globe are listening to it.
Yep.
And I think you were the one that gave me the breakdown of listenership and how you can determine,
Right.
where you are as far as percentages. And, the listening audience that I have are not my friend, like not my, my friends are listening,
Right.
Yes.
but they're beyond my friends and family.
You're picking up new people, and it's and that's great.
Yes.
So like everything, we all deal with some level of fear or hesitation, fear of failure. And we want to get into this a little bit on your personal life. It wasn't that long ago, I did a story on Monica about what she had gone through with unfortunate miscarriage several years ago, and you guys went through, and this is a whole nother story we'll get into some other day, but I mean, you guys went through lost a home, all kinds of crazy things. So, it to the point where I would say there's nowhere to go but up. But then you had another surprise, which kind of again threw, your dreams and the house of cards you were kind of building. So tell everybody what was going on there when the latest, and it wasn't a bad surprise.
It wasn't a bad surprise,
but
it was very unexpected.
There you go. It was very unexpected. So this was around the time that I just felt like that I was hitting the ground running. I was firing on all cylinders. I had the radio show on a local radio station, nice audience that was following me. And then I find out that I'm pregnant. I'm 39 years old. My oldest, or the youngest, was 8. Oh, wow. And we thought we were done.
Sure.
And so when I find out, first of all, I didn't even know that I was pregnant, or I think I was just in denial. I thought that I was going through premenopause, because there's no way
that
I'm pregnant. And, some people will say, well, if you're intimate, you're going to have a child. Like that's just what's going to happen.
Well, we hope not.
Not always.
Right. But for me, my story is I was never supposed to have children.
Okay.
I was told I would never have children. So the 2 that I had by birth, I have an older son who is my husband's child.
Mm-hmm.
They were miracles. So I'm thinking after my last child, Naomi, who was 8, that it's been 8 years of doing the same thing and I've not gotten pregnant. So it clearly has to be premenopause.
Right. Sure.
So I found out that I was pregnant, and no, they didn't put me in an insane asylum like I thought.
That's good. Did they lock all the windows though?
No, I didn't.
Make sure you didn't jump out.
I would, but I kind of had to apologize to God and tell him, I take back everything that I said that I would do if I found out that I was pregnant. And
of course,
so no one put me in the white walls with a straitjacket on or anything like that.
But now you've got shows, you've got your dream happening, and you've got to kind of shut it down, don't you?
Yeah, so I did. I kind of was like, I can't do the show anymore. And I just really shut everything down.
Because it's high risk. You got to be careful what to do and all that.
I'm doing everything. I literally stopped doing everything that I was doing because I did not know what to do next. Because it kind of threw a wrench in, what my plans were, quote unquote. That wasn't in the cards. And for a person like me that kind of strategizes or kind of like has plan A, B, C, D, or everything lined up, that wasn't in the plan. So it was like, I don't know what to do. So
how did you come back? Then how funny. See, that's the silver lining that we're going to talk about.
I tell people COVID either helped you or it hindered you. It depending on how you wanted to look at the situation.
Yep.
It could have been a good thing for you or a bad thing. And for me, it was a good thing.
Awesome.
But I was able to bond with Asher. Asher is such a blessing. He really is. He is the best thing that happened in 2019 for sure.
Oh,
that's cool. So, it is amazing. And we've talked in here so much, whether it's life, family, small business, whatever, your big business. And this year has been the year to say, it's like the one meme that was on social media. It's like the worst investment I made this year, and it was a picture of a 2020 planner.
Yeah.
There's just this is the year that you can't plan on anything, but
Nope.
yet I know in our lives, we've had some amazing things happen this year. It wasn't what we had planned. There were things that we had planned that didn't happen that were like, my daughter's graduation this year wasn't what we wanted to have happen, but you know what? It turned out okay. And in some ways, she embraced the fact that we will remember this year above all the other graduations possibly.
Yep.
So for people out there, Monica, who are sitting back and they're thinking, I've lost my business, or maybe I've lost, in some cases, they lose a family. When you lose a business, you go into financial trouble.
You do.
What hope do you have for them? What and especially when you're saying this passion of mine, it's destroying. It's destroying things, because sometimes we know passionate people that will jump off a cliff for that passion, and there's times you have to say, whoa, maybe this isn't supposed to happen. This isn't supposed to happen right now, or something.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts, and what would you say to those folks?
To the people that are just really gung-ho and aren't really listening to anything. They're just,
and their life's in turmoil right now, because this year is not a year you can get a whole lot figured out. Because next year is going to be totally different. It may go back to normal. It may be a whole nother
2020.
Whole another 2020.
Right. You know what I would say to people out there listening, for anyone, is really anytime that you have an opportunity to wake up and you're able to breathe air in your lungs and breathe it out, that means you have purpose. There is a reason why you're still here. There's a reason why you woke up. And finding that is a bridge for other people that will come along and need what you have discovered. So it's just, as soon as you wake up every day, you're meant to be here. And that is joy enough.
I like that.
And just finding the small things to be grateful for. And in that doing of finding the small things to be grateful for, you'll find yourself and find the path that you need to be on of discovery.
Now that's when I typically say, she just said a thing.
She said a thing.
She said a thing.
She said a couple things, but I think in all, it was a big thing.
Monica, tell me about the ebook that you have and the challenge and how that works, because I'm sure there's people listening thinking, I need more of this.
Okay. So the ebook is, you can get the ebook for free if you go through the 5-day Pursuing Passion Challenge. I do them once a month. We finished up October already, but we'll do November again, or I'm not again. We're just going into November. We'll be doing November. Mm-hmm. It's an amazing challenge, because what it does is it unlocks things in you, and it gets rid of myths that you may think that will help you discover your passion. Things like, what did you want to do when you were a child? Like, you hear that all the time as a means to discovering that. So we unlock myths and discover truths in finding passion. But then apart from that, I also have a book itself that is not just a guide, but a book itself, and it's Passion and Purpose, and it's how to fuel your passion and pursue your dreams. And that gives a deeper breakdown of how to do it, how to go about it in the right way, and not just being totally gun-ho and jumping off a bridge and blowing stuff up because you're passionate.
So is the 5-day, is that like a journal thing, or is what do you do?
So the 5-day challenge it's 5 days, and it's videos of me speaking to you about, what to discover or unlock in that day. Then I have a Facebook group that you can join, and there's open discussions there and question and answers with me in there about whatever that day was pertaining to.
Neat.
And you're doing, I assume you're taking on folks that want a strategist. I almost said coach.
Sure. So like after the 5-day challenge or before the 5-day challenge, if they want my services, they just visit my website at monicacguidry.com, and there's different levels of either courses or memberships so that people can, utilize my services.
Neat.
Awesome. Well, we're going to have all that in the show notes, and we will make sure. And if there's more, and again, the name of the podcast for people who want to search on that.
Oh, sure. It's Whole Heart with Monica C. Guidry.
So check that out. She's awesome. What you hear is what you get. It's she's real. She's transparent, and that's why we love her.
Yes, we do.
So,
I love you guys too.
Well, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you for having me.
Monica is exact. I mean, people say this all the time. What you heard was exactly how Monica is, but it is exactly how she's just a ball of joy.
Yes.
Never anything negative, and she has had some tough curves thrown at her.
Yes, she has.
And her family,
and yet you would never know it.
Never know it. And so I encourage you, if you are somebody who's at that point this year where you're like, I need somebody who could speak something into me. I'd encourage you to get a hold of Monica.
I really would.
Because
I'm thinking about calling her.
Because I'm not going to speak anything into you other than it's like I think that Apple needs to get a new design team.
We're not going to talk
for their
about that
phones
anymore.
Because what they're doing isn't right anymore.
But again, she talks, we're talking about how you can find your passion, and she is definitely
Critical.
a person that can really help you, to use the overused phrase of unpack what it is that you think you're destined to do.
There you go.
She's definitely the person that can help you out with that.
And if you have questions or comments, or we've kind of gone off the baking thing, we need to get back to some more baking. We would love to have some folks who have small businesses baking, because I know Angel would love to talk to some both folks who are working out of their home as well as working in their storefronts. If you'd like to be a guest and share with us your story, please email us. It's in the show notes, john@ondomedia.com. And if you're interested in seeing some of the creations that Angel's made, if you're in the Central Ohio area, you can even get some of them if you'd like.
Yes, indeed.
That's angelscustomcupcakes.com. If you are somebody who likes to have wonderful top-end media produced for your company, nonprofit, and you would like to sit down and have coffee and find out why cell phones are not as easy to operate as they used to be, then you need to email me as well at ondomedia.com. But until then, keep living the dream.
Connect with John and Angel via Facebook and Instagram and let us know your thoughts. Marketing, Media, and Cupcakes is a production of Ondo Media.